Hi, everyone, and welcome to The Balancing Act. I'm Olga Villaverde.
And I'm Montel Williams.
Today, an innovative option for a minimally invasive neck lift, which, by the way, I want.
I could use one.
We'll both get it.
Okay, let's both get it.
I love it.
And also some good advice on how to reach that credit score of your dreams.
Plus, online education, how to get the best in class.
And much, much more. And it all starts
right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Well, are you ready to take your career to the next level? Between 25 and 40 million Americans have valuable life experience, some college credits, but no degree. And there's no better time than now for busy adults to go back to school and complete their college degree affordably. And the best part is you can do this online. We're learning so much more about this today from Chancellor of Purdue University Global, Dr. Frank J. Dooley. Thank you so much, sir, for being here and being a part of the show.
Thank you for having me with you today. I'm just looking forward to our conversation.
Yes, sir, I am too, because, it's really interesting. This is something I've thought about quite a bit myself, just going back to school. But, there is no question that a college degree is a valuable asset these days. But unfortunately, life happens, man. It gets in the way sometimes. Some of us who have already, I went to school, got my college degree, and, recently I've been thinking about trying to get back to add on to that. However, I got this, I got that, I got this, I got that thing. Life gets in the way. So, you want to change that, right?
Well, that's our whole idea. And I love the way you say life gets in the way, because that's a really accurate depiction of life, right? I had to take my car in over to get some service. The guy starts on a computer, right? When I grew up, you would have opened up the hood and stuck
we got
in
the wrench, the screwdriver, right?
No, he spent probably more time on the computer than he did in my car. And almost every profession today requires, digital literacy. You need to have to understand how to work with technology than a prior generation didn't. And one of the reasons life is changing from an education perspective, when I got a job I'm posting, I need somebody who understands how to work in IT, these kinds of things that didn't used to exist. So the blue-collar jobs that we knew when you and I grew up have shifted, have morphed, require more education. So what we're doing when we hear the phrase life gets in the way, what we're asking ourselves, what am I going to do about that? And we have some things we can do about it. Can I share a couple?
Sure.
Well, number one, for a working adult, somebody who started college, didn't finish, and now they're, let's say, ballpark 30, and they need a degree to move forward in their career, our courses are taught fully online, so they can keep working the job that they have. You know what their second thing a lot of them have to do? Take care of family. Most of them have dependents, oftentimes children. They need to be there. That's one of their extracurriculars. When we think about it, the other thing, when you're 30, one of the things you bring me lots of experience. And then the question becomes, can I take that experience and make it into credit that would count towards a degree? And we're really good at that. Think of all the folks who come up through the military. All kinds of training has been given to them. I'll give you one example. Military police go through all kinds of training that would be part of a criminal justice program if they're in a university. So what have we done? We sat down and looked at it, said, well, that would be part of this course. You match it up, we treat that training just like it's transfer credit. So what it means to those individuals, they can get out quicker.
There are a lot of people my age who think, well, I'm done. Lifetime learning. There's nothing wrong with learning for the rest of your life, right?
Exactly. And we do have, you probably don't need another bachelor's degree or another degree.
Right.
But you do want to learn, and we are doing that as well. So we have some certificate programs designed around it. We have over 175 offerings that we have.
This is part of the goal of Purdue, is to help people meet their educational and their career goals.
People think of Purdue and they think of this Big Ten school in West Lafayette. Great place. I was there 25 years. Purdue Global is a new extension of Purdue aimed at the working adult, because the determination of Purdue is those individuals need more education as well. How are we going to get it to them?
Well, people, again, my age or a little less than me, we start to wonder, I go back to school, does that mean I'm sitting in a classroom with a whole bunch of 18-year-olds and 19-year-olds?
No,
huh?
Right. And moreover, the 18-year-olds are probably terrified because they don't have any experience, right? What they bring is they bring an 18-year-old's enthusiasm and passion and What you bring is a wealth of experience and understanding, and you really want to take it to the next level.
So tell me a little bit, how does this online program work?
Well, you started right. It's online, all right, which means that my courses are online, accessible as a working adult when you need to take them. Because guess what? Most of them are working, most of them have families, most of them have other obligations. So, but the course itself is built, it includes lectures, it includes discussion boards, it includes a seminar where you can come in with your classmates. We've built in all kinds of support systems. So let's see, I noticed that you're struggling in a course using AI to, you should have done this, you should have had this done. We're going to message you and say, hey, Montel, we're going to give you a little nudge. If you need more help, come here, because we want you to be successful.
Wow. Well, look, what does the student body kind of look like? I mean, I'm online. Am I actually interacting with other students or just interacting with the teacher?
Oh, no. The beautiful thing is our courses typically have 25 people in a course. You often get to know, but all your courses are online. Most of my students, the only time you meet another student is at graduation, believe it or not. But you might have spent 10 different courses with you, just like if you're on a residential campus, you do get to know. Right now we're building out, I'm going to call it a Facebook for my students. So it's a page only where they can go, peer-to-peer, talk about how do you navigate this? How do you do this? What are you doing in your job? So it becomes another means of support for the students we have.
What are some of the most popular majors?
Well, I have 175 different degrees. Some of my most popular majors are cybersecurity, IT, nursing, criminal justice, ABA, which is the applied behavioral analysis. These are people who become autism counselors.
Nursing, I'm so glad that you guys are doing this, because I mean, I'm reading about the fact that we are literally in a paucity right now. We're at a place where we're losing nurses. Nurses are aging out. A lot of nurses are done because of COVID and what just happened, right?
Yes. Nursing is incredibly important to us. We're doing everything that we possibly can to build that out. We have a really neat initiative right now where we're going into rural hospitals, and what we're helping them do is figure out how they can get their nursing pipelines built out. We're looking to expand that across rural America, military bases, Native American reservations and things like that.
This has got to be so rewarding to you, and I know, of course, you've got to have some success stories. You got any?
I have, but my problem is I have too many. But let me share one that I think you're particularly going to enjoy because of your naval background.
Oh, wow, okay.
Right? We're a military-friendly school, and I'm going to tell you about a recent graduate, Kelvin Gums.
Okay.
Kelvin was in the Navy 21 years. That was his career. Yeah, I thought you'd like that, all right? But the beautiful thing, he was our graduation speaker last October. The better thing, he is so impressive that he started working for me.
What?
Because what we're trying to do is do an even better job in serving our military population.
For 18 of my 22 years in uniform in the Navy, I had no academic direction. After much research, I found Purdue Global. We are among the most trusted because of the quiet and humble professionalism we represent.
That's really incredible. Look, if people wanted more information, where could they go?
Well, they can go to purdueglobal.edu, or they can go to our Instagram page to hear more stories like Kelvin at Purdue Global.
Wow, and of course, if you wanted more information, you can always go up on our website, thebalancingact.com. Thank you so much, sir, for being here.
Thank you.
For sure, absolutely. We're going to take a little break. We'll be back right after this. We've heard it referred to as many things: a double chin, turkey neck, even a waddle. How about a goozle? But what causes the sagging skin under our chins, and more importantly, can we do anything about it? Well, joining me virtually today from Beverly Hills, California, is double board certified plastic and reconstructive surgeon, Dr. Charles Galanis. Good morning, Doc. Thanks so much for being a part of the show.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. Look, let's dive right in. What causes this situation, and is it as common as it seems?
To begin, we need to start with a discussion of the structure underneath the skin. What we have is a network of collagen and elastin, and that's really what provides the support and the elasticity of our skin and soft tissues. Now, for both men and women, as we age, we lose a lot of that collagen, and that leads to that aged appearance, whether it be sagging in the jowls or the neck. And it's not just with aging, it can also occur with significant gains or loss in weight.
We're here today to share one of the newer innovative procedures available for patients using a helium-based plasma. Now, tell us a little bit about that.
Renuvion is an FDA-cleared device for a minimally invasive procedure that we use to improve the appearance of the aged chin and neck. It's a small probe. It's a minimally invasive one-time procedure. The probe goes underneath the skin and uses radio frequency energy and helium gas to trigger a collagen remodeling process, thereby improving the tightness of the area.
Well, now, Doctor, you recently gave our cameras an opportunity to take a look inside of your practice and get a closer look at the Renuvion procedure. Check this out.
My name is Shelley Church. I'm a mother of 2 beautiful daughters, and I noticed that in pictures my neck just looks so droopy, and I really didn't like any pictures of myself. I started looking on the internet for other alternatives other than plastic surgery, and I heard about Renuvion and did a little more research and learned that Dr. Galanis has been using this for quite some time, so I made a consultation with him.
I think of consults as informational sessions. That's all it is. So my role in these is to get an understanding of what you're looking to accomplish, because I want you to sort of take me through what your eye is seeing when you look in the mirror, okay? And I want you to kind of talk me through when you're saying the neck and what's bothering you.
Droopy right here,
Okay.
and the lines here.
Okay, so kind of in this area in the front of the neck
Yes.
and along here. Shelley's a great candidate because she sort of exhibits some of those early signs of aging, when people have a little bit of that skin that's getting lax along the jowls, the neck area. She's otherwise very healthy. She's interested in something that is, more of a natural aesthetic in terms of an outcome, nothing too drastic or too pulled as what you might see with a facelift. And she's at that age where it's an appropriate bridge prior to going under the knife for a surgical option. This is certainly an option to see if she can get just a little bit of tightening to buy her a little bit of time before she takes that next step.
I think after the procedure, I'm going to feel more confident about myself.
The reason I like Renuvion for patients is, we've been looking in the world of plastic surgery for years at ways to deliver results without putting people under the knife. There's really been a strong push towards what we call non-surgical, minimally invasive techniques. And that's where something like Renuvion is perfect. It fills that need of giving people something as a means of tightening tissue without the surgical option. In situations where we're doing it as an office-based procedure, typically the steps are we will pre-medicate the patient with an oral medication just to get them a little bit more comfortable, take a little bit of the edge off. We'll make, sometimes 1, 2, or 3 very, very small incisions under the chin, 1 each behind the ear, and through those incisions we'll inject a solution that has things like lidocaine in it. After that solution's had a few minutes to sit, then we start with the Renuvion. It's a very simple procedure. The Renuvion's a very thin probe, thinner than a pencil. It goes through the holes that we put the numbing solution in, and it delivers that radio frequency energy by way of the helium gas throughout the area. Usually it takes about 10 minutes.
Well, I'm sure everybody's pretty curious to see how Shelley is doing, so let's take a look at her before and after. And Dr. Galanis, what are we looking at here?
Well, Shelley was kind enough to send us an update photo just 4 weeks after her procedure, and already you can see significant changes in the appearance of the jawline area. The jowls have tightened up. Even the skin and the neck looks a little bit more youthful and smooth and tight.
Fascinating. Well, Dr. Galanis, what is the recovery time like, and how long before a patient actually typically sees any results?
The recovery is pretty well tolerated. Typically, I have patients wear a little neck brace that they're going to have on for a few days. I tell them to expect a little bit of bruising and swelling, but typically it resolves pretty quickly and they're able to get back to normal activity. You can see Shelley was able to walk right out of the procedure as soon as it was done. Results can be seen as early as a few weeks, but they'll continue to evolve for several months, even up to a year.
Well, thanks so much, Dr. Galanis, for being here with us today, and also to Shelley, of course, for sharing her story. And for more information on the procedure featured today, you can visit Renuvion.com. And as always, you can go to our website, thebalancingact.com. We'll be back right after this. Well, if you're struggling to reach your dream credit score, you're not alone. Today, we begin a 6-part series with Continental Finance Company President, Mr. Steve McSorley, who will be sharing some tips and tricks on how you can achieve your financial goals. Thank you so much for being a part of the show today, sir.
Thanks for having me here.
Absolutely. Let's start with the basics. I mean, what is credit and how many consumers really have access to it?
Credit is the ability for consumers to borrow money for things like goods and services that they promise to repay at a later date. Now, in this country, there are 232 million consumers that actually have a FICO score. That represents 90% of the age-eligible credit population, meaning 18 years of age or older.
Right.
Now, there's another 10% that represents 25 million consumers who are credit invisible. They have no information on their credit report from which to even derive a credit score.
Is that because they've never applied for credit before?
In most cases, yes. It could be the fact that they have a very old trade line that's maybe decades old that no longer even reports any longer.
Gotcha. In terms of the FICO score, what's the range that you should be in?
So FICO score ranges from a low of 300 to a high of 850, and it's primarily broken down into 5 primary categories. At the top, you have exceptional credit. This is scores of 800 to 850. Then you have very good, and that spans from 740 to 799, followed by good credit at 670 to 739. That accounts for 2/3 of all FICO scores in this country. Now, you actually have the bottom 2, which are fair and poor credit. That's the bottom 1/3, and that's from 300 to 669. Now, in 2022, the average FICO score in the United States was 716, what puts it square in the good credit range.
Gotcha. You know, like for many years, consumers were left in the dark and wondering how their FICO score is even derived. So there must be some things that they can do to improve them, right? There's some factors that they can use.
There are. There's 5 primary factors affecting FICO score. The top 2 account for 65% of the weighting of the FICO score. Payment history being number 1. Okay. This looks at how timely consumers are making payments on all of their trade lines. Not just one or some of them, all of them. That's the important point. Next is credit utilization. And this takes a look at the amount of debt a consumer has outstanding relative to the amount of credit that they've been extended.
Okay.
So by way of example, I like to use somebody who has a credit card and they have a credit limit of, say, $5,000. They carry a $1,000 balance. That's a 20% utilization rate. Typically, FICO likes to see utilization rates at 30% or less.
Oh.
So as rates go above that, it could have a negative effect on a person's credit score.
So make sure if you had a credit card of $5,000 limit, you don't really want to go over like maybe $1,500.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
Other factors?
Other factors. So next one's looking at length of credit history. So how long has a consumer had trade lines open in their name? The longer the trade lines have been open, the more reliable and predictable that consumer's behavior becomes. The last 2 are mix of credit and new credit. So mix of credit takes a look at variation. So it wants to see, does this person have multiple revolving credit cards? Does it have a mortgage? Say an auto loan, maybe student loan or personal loan. The more variability, the more predictable that consumer becomes. And then lastly, we have new credit. And this takes into account people actually looking for credit currently, credit inquiries to be precise. So the more credit inquiries a consumer has, that can really have a negative effect on a person's credit score. Now, a little tip for consumers. For those consumers maybe considering consolidating credit or closing down credit, be careful about closing those old trade lines, because that could have an unintended consequence of lowering your FICO score.
Wow, who knew? So any final thoughts?
For those consumers that have fair or poor credit, along with those 25 million consumers who are credit invisible, there is a path forward to your financial freedom, and we're going to explore that in the next part of our series.
Absolutely. And if people want to get more information right now, where would they go?
They can visit us at continentalfinance.net.
Thank you so much, sir, for being here, for
Appreciate
sure.
It. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
And we're going to cover more in our continuing series. And of course, if you want more information from us, you can go to our website, thebalancingact.com. Well, thanks so much for joining us today.
Remember to head to our Facebook page, like us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, and visit thebalancingact.com to enter our latest sweepstake or giveaway.
You might just win something.
Woohoo!
There you go. Stay safe, love that family of yours, and we'll see you next time.
Take care.